Okay, so we just finished up Hamilton. So what did you think of it, Mom?
A lot of music,
Well, yes.
a lot of infighting,
Yeah, with Burr and Hamilton, yes, that's for sure.
politics,
Yeah, that's true. A lot of politics for sure. Yeah, definitely a lot of politics for sure.
love story of sorts.
Kinda, yeah, with a lot of love triangles. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I gotta say.
Okay, I mean, I liked it. I mean, I'm glad you guys voted for this one. I mean, I like musicals, yes, and I like history, so it was pretty cool to learn more about Alexander Hamilton. I mean, I'm not going to say Aaron Burr was a flat out villain kind of thing. I will say that basically Aaron Burr made the wrong decision the way he did what he did. I will say that.
And it killed his career.
Yes, because history doesn't really remember Aaron Burr in the positive light that they could have met him in the positive light. I mean, most people don't think about like, okay, well, what happened to Aaron Burr and everything like that. Everybody's like, okay, yeah, we remember Alexander Hamilton and
Well, Burr died ignoble and faded out. Faded out.
yeah, he died without honor and everything, and that's kind of sad too because here it is, he had all this prestige and everything. I mean, I think in many ways he had more prestige than Hamilton, but yet and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, yeah, I mean, I like Hamilton. I also like hip hop. My friend, because my cousin does hip hop and everything like that. So I mean, Hamilton's pretty cool in his own way. So that's all I can put it. I like it in his own way. It's not perfect storytelling, no, but it's kind of cool in its own way. I'll say that much. So Lin Manuel, he does a very good job with the storytelling. The costumes were well done, but I'm glad that they did a little modern twist on it to tell us a little bit more about Alexander Hamilton. Any other things you want to say, Mom, about it?
Well, it was not what I expected it to be.
That's true. That's true. It's not your typical history story, that's for sure.
No.
But thank you for so much for watching this with me, Mom. I mean, I know you always told me the story about Alexander Hamilton and about how Burr killed him in cold blood.
Really, Hamilton was not aiming to kill.
No, that's the thing about duels back then. That basically, I think they would basically, I think, fire in the air and everything like that. Yeah, My Fair Lady is a good musical too, my friend. Yes, my favorite, I would say, of all musicals is always going to be Sound of Music, but this one, it's good in its own way. I'm not gonna say it's a favorite. I do like it, but Aaron Burr does not have a good happy ending. I mean, neither did Hamilton either. But the thing is, history doesn't really remember Burr anymore after the murder situation with the duels. But with duels, I think they typically what was it that they fired them up in the air and then they took so many paces back and then they would shoot.
Yes, but they always had seconds if you can use somebody instead of the person. But they agreed not to use seconds. They call them seconds.
Right. That's right. There was certain cases I remember reading in a diary of one of the Dear America books that we have about this girl that had like females would do duels, not maybe with the muskets and all that kind of stuff, but they would typically do it with like fencing swords and stuff.
Mm.
So just so you guys know that yes, us females can be just as bad as the boys. Maybe not as dramatic or anything like that, but it's kind of crazy to think about that history does have duels. Hopefully, we've learned since then to not do that.
It was a honorable thing. It was we did for honor.
True. And obviously, that was the case with Hamilton's son, that he was like saying, wait a minute, don't you dare diss my father, don't you dare diss my family name. And he, like, enough is enough. And also, Hamilton was doing the same thing later with Burr, trying to say, nope, you're not going to diss me and mistreat me and I mean, that's the thing that's crazy. But yeah, exact. Oh, the okay, Mr. CCDV is mentioning a peanut butter commercials is how you remember what Aaron Burr is famous for. Okay. Okay, I didn't realize there was a peanut butter thing, huh? Did you know about that with Mom?
Nope.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this one, Mom?
Mm. I want to say a 5, but I don't know.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. It's not too high and it's not too low. It's just like right in the middle.
Yeah.
I say it's about a 5 or 6, yeah, because it's not. I mean, it's good for a modern take. I mean, yeah. Ooh,
Excuse me, everybody. Sitting down for 3 hours, it does something to you.
Well, thank you so much for coming, Mom. I think I will continue on while you leave out. But thank you so much for being my co-host tonight.
Thank you, everybody, and maybe I'll see you again sometime.
Yeah, we'll bring Mom back again. What do you guys think? Should we bring Mom back as a co-host? She was pretty cool. We had fun, even though she got quiet during certain parts of it. We had a good time tonight. And we had our little snacks and we watched and everything like that. Hey, Chloe. Good to see you, Chloe. But yeah, we're just wrapping up and everything like that, Mom. I think you enjoyed it in your own way. Didn't you?
Yes.
So yeah, we had a pretty decent time. Yeah, thanks guys. I'm glad you guys like my mom. She had fun. Like I said, she's not much older than us her way, but yes, we had a great time. We just wrapped up Hamilton. I mean, Alexander Hamilton. Oh my word. So let's read up on him real quick. I'm just curious now. So Alexander Hamilton was born in 1755 or 57, and he died in 1804. And let's see. If that was the case, so he was born in part of his Charleston and everything like that. But yeah, he had quite the background. I mean, he was an illegitimate son, and whew.
Read about his life. Listen about his life.
I will just go on.
Okay.
Let's see. So he was born near what is the British West Indies and everything like that. Okay, 1776. Very cool. I will definitely check that musical out for sure. Because it's always kind of cool to learn about musicals and the past. Because the past is a really interesting thing for me. But yeah, I mean, Hamilton is like a lot of history stuff with it. But yeah, 1776, I will check out for sure. And let's see. So yeah, he was on George Washington's staff. He was with the Congress and Army kind of stuff. I mean, this is the Wikipedia page that I'm reading over right now. I'm just looking it over. I'm just scanning through it. Yeah, he did the Federalist Papers, Secretary of the Treasury. Let's see. He did the report on the National Bank. He established the U.S. Mint. He did whiskey as a tax revenue kind of thing. Manufacturing industry. He did a lot of things basically for the Treasury. So without Alexander Hamilton, we really wouldn't know about stuff like that. Okay, so there was a thing about the Reynolds affair thing. He was the first politician to be caught up in a scandal like that kind of thing. Oof. Yikes. That's not something to be proud of, folks. To be the first one to be known as that. Yikes. So, yeah. So it says Vice President shot Hamilton, delivering what proved to be a fatal wound. Okay, so Hamilton shot as well, and it broke a tree branch below, which shot a tree branch above Burr's head. Neither of the seconds or anything determined who fired first. and each claimed that the other man had fired first. Soon after they measured and triangulated the shooting, they could not determine from which angle Hamilton had fired. Burr's shot hit Hamilton in the lower abdomen, above his right hip. The bullet ricocheted off Hamilton's second or third false rib, fracturing and causing considerable damage to his internal organs, particularly his liver and diaphragm, before becoming lodged in his first or second lumbar vertebrae. So basically, it went into his lower back and everything like that. So, oof, not a pretty thing. So he was married in New Jersey, Elizabeth, or Eliza, as she's known in the musical. And they had 8 children. So what's confusing is that they had 2 sons named Philip. The older son was the one that died in the duel 3 years before his father did. And there was Angelica, Alexander Jr., James Alexander, John Church, William Stephen, Eliza, and then there was Philip. So, okay, so his religious faith, he was basically Orthodox with conventional Presbyterian. And when he was on his deathbed, basically he asked for Holy Communion. The person refused to do so because he said that participating in a duel back then was considered to be a mortal sin. So they were like, nope, we can't do that. And there was a theory that some people believe that he was actually Jewish, which we really don't know for sure. All we know is that there's quite a bit of legacy because, like I said, yeah, he is on the $10 bill. Alexander Hamilton is on the $10 bill for sure. So, okay. And there's memorials for him in Columbia with New York City. So, like I said, and he's well known because of this play that's known there was one play, believe it or not, that says there was a stage play called Hamilton, which ran on Broadway in 1917. And this guy, George Arliss, played the part of Hamilton. And then there was a film based off of it. And then in 2015, we had the one that I just wrapped up watching with my mom and everything like that. So basically, Hamilton is a well-known literary character. I mean, he's historically well-known. And like I said, that a lot of people have heard about Hamilton because of the musical now. I mean, I'm sure there's a whole generation out there that has heard about Hamilton now that there's been this musical. I mean, I was excited when I found out that there was going to be Hamilton and it was going to be released on Disney Plus because I was like, okay, that'd be cool to see how they do this Broadway story about Alexander Hamilton. And I was kind of curious how they were going to do it and everything like that. But the person I really, really like, yes, I like Alexander Hamilton in this one, but my favorite, I would say, in this movie musical is George Washington. Because the one that plays George Washington is Christopher Jackson. And I've seen him a lot of times at the Memorial Day concerts. And sometimes he shows up for the 4th of July concerts here in the Washington, D.C. area. So it's really, really cool to hear him sing because he's got a beautiful voice. And I think it's kind of cool, basically, to hear a fresh perspective on the story about Alexander Hamilton. Because, like I said, I had heard about Alexander Hamilton. Both my mom and my dad told me about Alexander Hamilton a lot. So it was kind of cool to learn it and everything like that. So I like the song, like, Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story. And that's the thing that I liked about that. That was really kind of cool to hear, like, who's going to live and tell our stories, because we never know we're going to leave the legacy behind for. It could be kids that we've befriended and gotten close to over the years, or it could be family members. Like in the case of Alexander Hamilton, that basically the people that were going to leave behind the legacy behind was his family. And so that was the thing that's kind of interesting when we find stuff out about it. So, alrighty, so let's see. Okay, so the Broadway cast ones were different ones from the ones that are actually in the musical one that was came. Because in the Chicago version, I'm looking this over right now, and it looks like that Wayne Brady was in that one. So that's kind of cool. Certain people that I liked were in it. Like I said, it's not a terrible, terrible story. It's kind of cool in its own way. I mean, I'm glad you guys recommended it because it was something fresh and new and different. Because like I said, I'd always heard the story about Alexander Hamilton and how Aaron Burr basically destroyed his career after the duel. He never was able to recover from that duel. And because of that, it had a lasting impression on him where basically it was something like my mom was saying that it killed his career in many, many ways. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to see stuff like that because I think a lot of people forgot about Alexander Hamilton until this musical came out. And I'm glad they were able to bring it out. I mean, it's a good story. The music, I like some of it. Like, I always want to know whose legacy, who am I leaving a legacy for later on, you know? And so let me check that out about Aaron Burr while I'm thinking about it. Aaron Burr. Okay, so he died in 1836. And he was 80 years old when he died. And he had 8 or more children. And he was from New Jersey. His father was a minister. And he served during the Revolutionary War, just like Hamilton had. And he was married to... He fell in love with someone that was from Sweden. No, sorry, Swiss. So Switzerland area. And she was 10 years older than him. And then she later died of yellow fever. Her husband was. And then she died in 1794 of stomach or uterine cancer. They only had one child to survive to adulthood. Okay, so he ran for presidency. And then there was a conspiracy. There was a trial, believe it or not, for that, about the conspiracy, about the whole thing that he did. And so he was found to be not guilty, nor was he ever convicted. There was never any evidence about that. The only star witness for the prosecution had to admit that he had doctored a letter implicating Burr. And so he was exiled for a while because of what he had done. He lived in a self-imposed one. Nobody else told him to, but he chose to do it. So he basically went over to London and chose to put himself in exile for a while. And he used the surname Edwards, which was his mother's maiden name, to avoid creditors with the help of an old friend. He later returned to New York in his law practice. He later helped the heirs of the Eden family in a financial lawsuit by the 1820s. They became a surrogate family, this family that he basically helped out a lot. So that's what happened there. And then he'll add at least 3 biological children. He adopted 2 sons. Let's see what else. So it looks like despite financial setbacks after returning, he lived out the rest of his life in New York at a relative's place. So basically, he lived out his life in New York. I mean, I'm not saying Hamilton was wrong. I'm not saying Burr was wrong. I think they're just misunderstood characters. I will say that much. That basically history needs to know more about them and their backgrounds in many, many ways. So let's see if I can find that commercial that Mr. CCDV was mentioning about the Aaron Burr peanut butter. Now he's got me curious about this. Okay. Share audio, yes. Okay, so YouTube, yes. Share. Okay. Okay. This must be the commercial that he's talking about from 1993. Okay. So we will check this over.
And that was the Vienna Wood Dance indeed, one of my all-time favorites. And now let's make that random call with today's $10,000 question. It's a tough one. Who shot Alexander Hamilton in that famous duel? All right, let's go to the phones and see who's out there.
Hello, for $10,000. Excuse me?
No.
Your time is almost up. I'm sorry, maybe next time.
Oh.
Milk.
Oh. Poor guy. Wow. Wow, I forgot about that commercial. I forgot about that commercial. Oh, man. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So, yeah. So, like I said, we watched Hamilton. It's not a bad musical. It's just not one of my personal favorites. And I know it's not for mom either, because she's not a musical person. I think the modern type. But that's okay. That's perfectly okay. But I hope you guys enjoyed this special impromptu little watch party. And it's been a lot of fun doing this watch party. I mean, like I said, my mom's always watching, it's kind of cool to watch one with her instead of just by myself. So, yeah. I mean, it was fun to learn more about Alexander Hamilton, his past, and Aaron Burr and his past and stuff like that. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool to learn some of this stuff. So, yeah. But like I said, it's it's a unique story. It really is. I'm not gonna say it's a terrible story. It's not like the other musicals that we've seen, because one of the last musicals we saw together was Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. So yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting to learn stuff and see it in fresh new eyes. But yeah. I think that's basically everything. I don't know. I'm gonna see how this schedule's pretty loose this week. So I may do another watch party this week. May do it for another movie. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this special impromptu little watch party kind of thing with just me and my mom watching Hamilton. I mean, she's a little bit quieter than I am when I do watch parties, but that's okay. It was fun in its own way. Hope you guys had a good time. So like I said, it was a lot of fun doing this with me and my mom. I mean, yeah. It was fresh and different. It wasn't your typical watch parties. So yeah, I mean, hope you guys have a good night. I will see you guys when I see you. But I'll keep you posted on what goes on with the latest with my projects, whatever it is. And I will see you guys another time. Take care and be blessed. Stay safe. And remember that the universe is literally our limit on what we can and cannot do. You take care now, and I will see you another time. Bye.